You call your cat's name. Nothing. You call again, a little louder this time. Still nothing. They just sit there, eyes half closed, looking like they're auditioning for a statue. Sound familiar? If you've ever felt completely invisible to your own cat, you're definitely not alone, and the good news is, there's actually a science behind why cats ignore us, and more importantly, how to flip that switch and get their full, undivided attention in seconds. Whether your cat is the kind who ignores you dramatically or just seems to be living in their own little world most of the time, today we're going to break down 5 powerful ways to instantly grab their attention, even on their worst, I don't care about you days. And some of these might genuinely surprise you. So, let's get into it. The first thing you need to understand before we dive into the actual techniques is something most cat owners completely overlook. Cats are not wired like dogs. Dogs have been selectively bred for thousands of years to pay attention to humans, to read our body language, to respond to our voices. Cats? Not so much. They domesticated themselves, kind of on their own terms, and they've kept a lot of that wild, independent spirit. This doesn't mean they don't love you. Studies actually show that cats do form strong emotional bonds with their owners, but it does mean you have to speak their language if you want their attention. And that's exactly what these 5 techniques are about. The first way to get your cat's attention almost instantly is something incredibly simple that most people never think about: the slow blink. If you've spent any time around cats, you've probably noticed them doing this, closing their eyes slowly, almost like they're falling asleep mid-look. This is actually one of the most meaningful signals in cat communication. When a cat slow blinks at you, they're essentially saying, "I trust you. I feel safe. I'm not threatened." It's a deeply relaxed, vulnerable gesture coming from an animal that's always somewhat on guard. Here's how to use it to get their attention. Find your cat, make comfortable eye contact, not a hard stare, which actually reads as a threat to them, and then slowly, deliberately close your eyes and open them back up. Do it gently, like you're half asleep yourself. Then wait. What happens next is remarkable. Most cats will actually slow blink back. And the moment they do that, you've opened a line of communication. You've spoken their language. After that exchange, you'll often find that your cat becomes more receptive. They might walk toward you, vocalize softly, or simply become much more alert to your presence. It doesn't always work in 2 seconds, but with practice and consistency, the slow blink becomes one of the most reliable tools in your cat communication toolbox. The key is patience. Don't force it. Do it once or twice and let your cat process it. The less pressure you put on the interaction, the more likely they are to engage. The second technique is one that taps directly into your cat's predator brain, and once you understand why it works, you'll wonder how you ever tried anything else. Cats are obligate hunters. Even the most pampered, indoor-only, kibble-fed house cat has the same neurological wiring as a wild cat on the savannah. When something moves in a specific way, quick, unpredictable, low to the ground, their entire attention snaps to it automatically. It's not a choice. It's instinct. So, how do you use this? Movement-based attention grabbing. This can be as simple as dragging a piece of string slowly across the floor in their line of sight, wiggling your fingers just behind a corner so they can barely see them, or using a wand toy and letting the feather twitch right at the edge of their peripheral vision. The trick is not to overdo it. A toy that moves too fast and too obviously isn't interesting, it's overwhelming. But something that moves slowly, hesitates, then darts? That's irresistible. Even if your cat was completely ignoring you a moment before, the right movement will pull their focus like a magnet. Their pupils will dilate, their tail might flick, and their entire body language shifts from "I'm not here" to "I see you" and "I'm calculating my next move." That moment of engagement is your window to interact, play, bond, and build trust. And the more you do this consistently, the more your cat will start associating you, your presence, your movements, with that exciting, stimulating energy. Over time, they start paying more attention to you in general because they've learned that you're interesting. Now here's where things get really fascinating, and this is the method that tends to shock people the most. Sound. Cats have an extraordinary sense of hearing. Their ears can rotate almost 180 degrees, They can detect frequencies far beyond what humans can hear, and they are biologically programmed to zero in on certain sounds that are connected to prey, to other cats, or to potential threats. This means that the right sound, played at the right moment, can pull a cat's attention from across the room, even through walls. There are specific types of sounds that tend to work almost universally. High-pitched, soft sounds like the chirping of birds, the squeaking of small animals, the rustling of leaves or crinkled paper. Even certain high-frequency tones that mimic distress calls from prey animals. And here's something really cool that you can try right now. There are videos and audio recordings specifically made for cats on YouTube. Just search for something like cat attention sounds or sounds to attract cats, and you'll find hours of content. Bird chirping, mouse squeaking, insect buzzing, all designed specifically to trigger a cat's instinctive response. A lot of cats who seem completely uninterested in everything will suddenly appear from another room, wide-eyed and ears forward, just because of a sound they heard from a speaker. You can use this as a bonding tool too. Play those sounds near you, so your cat associates that stimulation with your presence. Or use specific sounds, like a particular clicking noise or a unique whistle, as a trained cue, almost like a recall command. Cats absolutely can learn to respond to specific sounds when there's a positive association attached. The takeaway here is simple. Stop underestimating your cat's hearing and start using it intentionally. We're about halfway through today's video, and before we go any further, I want to hear from you. Do you have a cat that ignores you? Or maybe one that's actually really responsive and attentive? Drop a comment down below and tell me about your experience. I read every single one, and I genuinely love hearing your stories. And if you're finding this useful, smash that like button. It really helps this channel reach more cat lovers like you. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time. We put out content like this every week, all about understanding and caring for your cats better. Alright, let's keep going, because the next two methods are ones most people have never even thought about. The fourth way to get your cat's attention is through scent. Specifically, your scent. This one requires a little shift in how you think about your relationship with your cat. Cats communicate enormously through smell. They have a scent organ in the roof of their mouth called the Jacobson's organ, and they use it to analyze chemical information in ways that are completely beyond human experience. When your cat rubs their face on you, on furniture, on doorways, they're leaving scent marks. They're saying, "This is mine, this is safe, this is familiar." Here's how you can use this to your advantage. If your cat is ignoring you, try offering the back of your hand for them to sniff, not reaching toward their face, but presenting your hand low and still, letting them come to you. This gives your cat a chance to gather information about where you've been, what you've touched, and whether the moment feels safe. Once they've scented you and registered, "Okay, this is my person," their attention naturally follows. You can also try this. Wear a piece of clothing for a few hours, then leave it in a spot where your cat likes to hang out. Many cats will go directly to that item, rub on it, sleep on it, and then when you show up later, they're already primed to engage with you because your scent has been on their mind, so to speak. Scent is invisible, but for a cat, it's the primary language. Speaking it fluently means your presence becomes something your cat actively seeks out rather than tolerates. The fifth and final technique is perhaps the most counterintuitive of all, and it's the one that takes the most discipline to actually do. Ignore them first. I know. You came here to learn how to get your cat's attention, and now I'm telling you to ignore them. But hear me out, because this is rooted in some genuinely interesting cat psychology. Cats are intensely curious creatures. They're also, by nature, wary of things that come on too strong. When you call your cat over and over, when you chase them around trying to pet them, when you pick them up before they're ready, you're putting pressure on them, and pressure makes cats withdraw. It's not that they don't like you. It's that you've become, in their mind, a source of social stress rather than a source of comfort. But when you sit down, relax, look away, and act completely unbothered, something clicks in a cat's brain. Suddenly you're interesting. You're non-threatening. You're a puzzle they want to solve. You become something they want to approach on their own terms, and when a cat approaches you voluntarily, that's the most genuine, meaningful engagement you can get. Try this. The next time your cat is in the room but ignoring you, don't call them, don't reach for them. Just sit comfortably, Maybe pick up a book or look at your phone and let your body language go completely relaxed. Wait. Within a few minutes, sometimes less, many cats will walk over, sniff you, maybe jump up beside you. They came to you. And now you have their complete, willing attention. This technique also works beautifully when combined with the slow blink from the beginning. Sit, relax, and when your cat looks at you, give them a slow blink. You're telling them, I'm here, I'm calm, I'm safe. Come when you're ready. And they will. So let's bring this all together, because the thread running through every single one of these 5 techniques is the same: understanding your cat's world. Cats don't ignore you because they don't care. They respond to their environment based on instinct, on trust, on safety, and on curiosity. When you learn to communicate through their channels, through body language, movement, sound, scent, and emotional energy, you stop being just a background figure in their day and start becoming someone they genuinely want to engage with. The slow blink tells them you're safe. Strategic movement taps into their hunting instinct. Sound bypasses everything and goes straight to their primal wiring. Scent makes you familiar and comforting before you even enter the room. And simply not chasing them gives them the space to choose you, which, honestly, is the sweetest thing a cat can do. Start experimenting with these today. You don't need any special equipment, you don't need to spend any money, and you don't need to completely change how you interact with your cat. Just become a little more intentional. Pay attention to how they respond. Adjust. Learn. And enjoy the process, because getting to know your cat on this level is genuinely one of the most rewarding things about sharing your life with them. If this video helped you, share it with a fellow cat lover who needs it. Leave a comment telling me which technique you're going to try first. I'm genuinely curious. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next video. We have a lot more coming your way about understanding cats, keeping them healthy, and building the strongest possible bond with your feline companion. Until next time, give your cat a slow blink from me.